Well, a very, very happy Friday morning to everyone. Welcome to the John Kentera Show on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Glad you could join me. Man, it's going to be a great weekend. We're really going to get rolling in college football. And I got to tell you, the pennant races now really heating up. Really heating up. I'm so excited about baseball. I mean, every game really counts now. And it's not just the Padres. We're watching the Dodgers and watching the wild card race and taking a look at the American League. And then we got college football. And I went to the Aztec game last night. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. A very convincing win over Stony Brook 42-0. But I'll give you my thoughts on that. We got a great show for you. We're going to recap a sad afternoon in Seattle on Wednesday for the Padres. They had an off day yesterday. They're going to tee it up tonight at Target Field against the Minnesota Twins. Not a great ball club. Twins traded away. Oh man, they traded a ton of guys, and they ended up bringing up 9 guys from AAA after all the trades were done. So it's a team the Padres should go in, and quite frankly, they should get at least 2 out of 3. You would love a sweep before they come home on Monday night and take on the Baltimore Orioles. Kind of an interesting schedule. They've got Baltimore on a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, an off day. On Thursday, then they got to go to Colorado to take on the Rockies, and then they'll be back home. But only 3 games against Baltimore before they head out to Coors Field. You know that place can be a house of horrors and can be wild, crazy, and kind of beat up your pitching staff. But nonetheless, we're going to get into it a little bit later on. We're going to have John Maffei coming up at 9:30. Talk high school football. I saw John in his picks last weekend, went 8-2 out of the gate. Some pretty good matchups tonight, and we'll get into that and talk about what went on in high school football last Friday night. But we're going to talk a lot about the Padres, and we're going to talk about the Padre big boys that need to get something done. Some of the averages and the offensive totals for the month of August of the top 4 guys, the name guys, not doing real well. And they're going to definitely have to pick it up in September. But want to remind everyone, we're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. We love to take your questions. We have Coach's Crew coming up a little bit later on. We got Coach's Mailbag where we deep dive into questions that we weren't able to get to on the last program. And, I mentioned I was at the Aztec game last night, and I had so many people, even in the media, that came up and said, "Hey, Coach, man, we're glad you're still on the air. We're glad you didn't go away. We're glad you're still out there pushing the envelope for San Diego sports." And I really appreciated that last night. It was really really cool. All the different people I ran into as I was walking through the parking lot. Fans were, "Hey, Coach, how you doing? Good to see you out here." And hey, I'm not going away. I'm not going away at all. We love doing the podcast. I'm still doing the IFL. We talked about Steve Quiz and I and our production staff, along with Bo Fertig, our sideline reporter. We got the award for the top broadcasting crew in the IFL. I've got my schedule yesterday for UC San Diego basketball. I got 15 games on ESPN Plus. So, hey, I'm happy. I'm enjoying life. Man, it was a lot of fun. Was on 760 twice yesterday. I was on with Fletch and Sammy. And then last night I was on with J.R. Tolver and Ben Fletcher out in the parking lot prior to the Aztec game. So on KUSI this morning, so life's good. I'm having a lot of fun. And I still get to talk about my favorite subject, and that's sports, and primarily the Padres and the Aztecs and the Tritons and the Toreros and all that good stuff. I want to remind everyone, if you're tuning in for the very, very first time, please subscribe. Well, we really want to try to build this channel. I don't know what we're trying to build it into because I don't know that much about YouTube, but I know I want to continue to gain followers. So please subscribe, please like, please turn on your notifications, and please send in your questions because I love questions. That's what, for me, that's what makes the show is when you come in and ask me questions and we get a good back and forth. Okay, we got to get to the Padres on Wednesday. Okay, I sat down, I was all excited, and Yu Darvish got off to a pretty good start. First 3 innings, he looked fantastic, and all of a sudden the roof caved in. He gave up a run in the second inning. Luke Raley got that 2-out double. Couldn't have thrown it out there better. Right in between Laureano in center, and Fernando in right. I mean, you couldn't have placed it better. But hey, the Padres are right in it. They're right in the game. And then all of a sudden, Eugenio Suarez hits a 3-run homer, and Padres are down 4-0. They tried to come back, had runners on first and third with 2 outs in the ninth. Couldn't get it done, get beat 4-3. So they dropped 2 out of 3 to Seattle. Seattle's a good team. Seattle's good enough with their pitching staff, and we didn't see all their big arms. I mean, Castillo didn't have a good night. He's a good pitcher. Didn't have a good night. Padres took care of him. Brian Woo's a very good pitcher. And we didn't see Logan Gilbert. George Kirby's been banged up a little bit this year, but they got a lot of pitching. They got a good bullpen. They're a team that very well could make a run in the playoffs. And I could see with their home run potential on that roster, I could see Seattle getting to the World Series. I very much so. I mean, getting Josh Naylor and Suarez to go along with Cal Raleigh. J.P. Crawford is a guy that I like a lot. Their shortstop, tremendous player. Julio Rodriguez plays the game with great passion. I mean, they got some players up there in Seattle right now, really. And that's a good ball club. And, Andre Munoz, once upon a time a Padre, getting the job done out of the bullpen. They got a deep bullpen. I'm very impressed with Seattle, quite frankly. But Yu Darvish. Now, here's the deal about we don't know what we're getting out of Yu Darvish right now. Okay, you could get a really, really good Yu Darvish, or you could kind of get the middle of the road Yu Darvish. The other day, he went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 4 earned runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, 69 pitches, 4 innings. And after he had given up that 3-run homer, he got through the 4th, and that was it. He went to the bullpen. Bullpen was fine. Alec Jacob, Wandy Peralta, David Morgan, Yuki Matsui, they were fine. They pitched great. A shutout ball. Padres actually out-hit Seattle 8-7. They were actually 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Seattle 2 for 6. Offensively, Fernando 2 for 5, an RBI double there in the ninth. Laureano, they move him up to the number 2 spot. Well, he had a rough day. Took one in the back, too, from Brian Wu. Got the wind knocked out of him. He went 0 for 4 with a couple of punch-outs. Hit him down in the order. Arise got most of the day off. He did pinch hit in the 9th inning and grounded out. The big debate, and I'm going to share numbers here in a little bit, but the great debate, you move him out of the number 2 spot. And you know what? You're too deep in the season. I think you got to stay with status quo. I think you got to go with the guys that have been your guys all year. And Arise has had a miserable August. But he's not the only one. I got news for you. He's not the only one. But, the other day, Gavin Sheets continues to hit the ball very well, 2 for 4 with an RBI. Iglesias got an infield hit. Cronenworth, who's had a really good month of August, quite frankly. 1 for 2, a walk, got hit by a pitch, drove in a run, scored a run. But the Padres get beat 4-3. And the Dodgers come back on Wednesday night. Ohtani gave up 1 run. But pitched very, very well, had 9 strikeouts in 5 innings, got his first win of the year. Dodgers, believe it or not, they struck out 19 batters. 19 of the 27 outs they struck out the Cincinnati Reds the other night. And that's the first time all year, believe it or not, this is the first time all year the Reds have been swept. They were the only team in baseball that had not been swept, and they got swept by the Dodgers. And quite frankly, the Dodgers played at a very high level. I think the Padres, if you want my honest opinion, I think the Padres woke the Dodgers up. After they got smacked in the face a couple of games down here, they came back on Sunday and riddled the Padres 8-2, and they dominated the series against Cincinnati. Now, tonight, over the weekend, you've got the Dodgers hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks. First matchup tonight is going to be Zach Gallen, who's had a miserable year, and he's a free agent going for Arizona. Blake Snell going to go for the Dodgers. So we'll keep our eye on that. But Dodgers right now starting to get guys back. I talked with someone involved with the Dodgers yesterday before I went down to Snapdragon Stadium, and they told me they're expecting Tommy Edman back probably a week from tomorrow. That's kind of their target to get him back. Max Muncy is making good progress, and Muncy was just hitting the ball all over the ballpark. I mean, Max Muncy was probably in as good a stretch this year until he went down with the oblique, as he had been really in his entire career. He's hitting, somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 to 260. He normally hits, 220, 230, but hits a lot of home runs. So Dodgers getting guys healthy. Kirby Yates is back. Tanner Scott's back. They're waiting for Kopech. They're waiting for Brock Stewart. Kike Hernandez came back, played very well in that series against Cincinnati. They've got a lot of guys coming back, and they're going to get better. And I was looking at their pitching staff. Their pitching staff's really, really deep, really deep. And, we'll see where it goes. But the Padres start the day 2 games back of the Dodgers, but technically they're 3 games back because the Dodgers own the tiebreaker. Padres were only 4-9 against the Dodgers this year. So there you have it. Okay, maybe some good news, maybe as early as tonight. Jackson Merrill started baseball activity earlier in the week, had a couple of days. Yesterday, I would imagine, was an off day. They probably did some therapy with him on that ankle. Can't really do much for a bone bruise, but they're thinking he's coming back. And it could be tonight, it could be tomorrow, or they could wait until Monday when the rosters expand. I mean, I'll be honest with you right now. You don't want to screw the apple cart up. And I don't want this to sound bad about Jackson Merrill, but what do you do with Gavin Sheets and Ryan O'Hearn? Those guys are playing well. One of those guys is going to be out of the lineup, probably Gavin Sheets. And Merrill's not had a good year. We talked about it on Wednesday. He's not had a good year, and now you're going to throw him in the heat of a pennant race when he hadn't played in a few weeks. That's going to be tough. I mean, he missed a month earlier in the year with the hamstring. Then the concussion kept him out. And now the ankle and the bone bruise. So the rosters do expand on Monday. They go from 26 up to 28. You can add a position player and you can add one pitcher. So they could wait, but I think they're going to activate him maybe as early as tonight. Now, the other guy that I was hoping was going to be ready to pitch tonight is going to throw a simulated game, I believe today, and that's Michael King. He's slated to throw today, but you know how that works. Throw a simulated game, that means that he would more than likely probably maybe pitch that last game against Baltimore on Wednesday, or they could wait. I'd rather see him pitch on Wednesday than wait and have him pitch on Friday at Coors Field. I don't necessarily want him to come back and have to throw his first game at Coors Field. I don't know if that's a real good thought. So I would hope if he throws today, you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It'd be perfect. Throw a simulated game. He should be ready to go. So I'm going to make the call right now. If everything goes well today, and they do throw the simulated game today, then Michael King should be the starter for the final game against Baltimore next Wednesday at Petco Park. That's my call on that. Okay. I had a question, and then I'm going to get to the offense of the Padres. Then we're going to get out to Coach's crew here before long. I had a lot of people in the last 2 days saying, who's going to be the Padres playoff pitchers? That's a great question. It's a great question. A lot of it, I think, evolves around Michael King. But I got to be honest with you, and Pavetta's going to throw tomorrow, by the way. Pavetta'd have to be the first guy out of the gate for me. In game 1, Pavetta's got to throw that. He's 13-4 with a 2.82 ERA right now, and he has never, ever finished a season with an ERA of under 4. Okay, so he's having a career year, absolutely career year. He's my number 1 guy. And if King comes back and throws like Michael King can, he throws game 2. Now, here's where the dilemma is. Who throws game 3? Do you go with Yu Darvish and the veteran that knows how to add and subtract and he's got all the different pitches? Or do you roll the dice and go after a guy that can throw up a lot of zeros? And we've seen him throw up a lot of zeros. He strikes out a lot of guys, but he always has that one bad inning. Now, remember, in the playoffs, you got a bunch of horses down in that bullpen. And you only need guys to go 4 innings, and then you can turn it over to the bullpen. And then with off days, guys are going to be fine. So you can use that bullpen maybe a little bit more than you would if you were playing every day, because you're going to have travel days in there, and playoffs, especially early in the playoffs, kind of get diluted because hey, you're playing, you're off, you're playing, then you're off. The third game, you'd probably either go with Darvish or Dylan Cease. And I know a lot of people are going, "Oh man, Dylan Cease." I'm not giving up on Dylan Cease. Now he may end up being a disaster the rest of the year. Hadn't been good. Still couldn't hang in the game the other night when he had a lead. He couldn't hang in there to get through the fifth inning to where he could get his first win of the season on the road. He still does not have a road win. He's 0-8. He had a golden opportunity the other day to get a road win, and it didn't happen. He had a 5-0 lead, gave up the 3-run homer. Next thing you know, he's out of the game. Jason Adam gives up a 3-run homer. But hey, the Padres came back, ended up finding a way to win the ball game. But for me, I got to kind of see how it plays out. I really have to see it play out. Dylan Cease, as frustrated as I can get with him because the guy has got unbelievable amounts of ability. I don't like his body language when he's not pitching well. He kind of looks like a defeatist attitude out on the mound, the facial expressions, the way he walks around and just not happy. We know it was a bad pitch, Dylan. Get back up there, get mentally prepared, and let's go. The guy's got tremendous stuff. I mean, we talked about his no-hitter last year in Washington. I know they're having a bobblehead night coming up. That's really cool. But I think it'd be Pivetta, game one, Michael King, if healthy and comes back and is Michael King in game two. And then I think you got to decide whether it's going to be Dylan Cease, who won't be here next year, or Yu Darvish, who will be here next year and will be here through the 2028 season if he continues to pitch. I mean, the other possibilities, you got Nestor Cortez. He's thrown tonight, coming off of 6 innings, a shutout ball. Pitched very well against the Dodgers. Very well against the Dodgers. And he's been a nice surprise. And then, you got Randy Vasquez, who I would imagine would be added back to the roster. Probably not going to get a sniff in the playoffs. J.P. Sears, probably not going to get a sniff in the playoffs. But you need 3 starters. And, maybe it's Darvish, maybe it's Cease. But King would be number 2 if he's healthy and comes back, Michael King. But game one, Pivetta, you got to give Pivetta the ball. No question about it. You got to give Pivetta the ball. Okay, I got to get to the hitters. I'm hearing nothing but bitching, moaning, and complaining from a lot of fans. Hey, there's no baseball team that's perfect. Everybody thought the Dodgers were perfect, and they're going to win 120 games. Well, I knew this. I knew that Dave Roberts would not win 120 games because Dave Roberts would not allow his team to win 120 games. And what I mean by that, for the Dodgers, they go into spring training thinking, hey, we got to get through the regular season. Want to win the division, want to get a high seed. They'd love to be number 1, but right now it looks like they're going to, fight for number 2, get the number 2 seed. But what I mean by that, not going for 120, they want to preserve the health. They've had all kinds of problems. I give the Dodgers a lot of credit. We know they got great depth. We know that they spend a lot of money. That's not anything new. That it's historical, going back to Brooklyn and the Yankees, and they're the Dodgers are the Yankees of the West Coast. They always have been, and they probably always will be, I would imagine. But the Dodgers, their whole thing is that their season starts October 1st. And I think because of what the Padres did, and the Dodgers having injuries and not playing well, and their pitching staff and their bullpen got overworked early in the year, Padres woke the Dodgers up, and they're playing really good baseball. I watched that Cincinnati series. They're playing good baseball, and they're playing team baseball now. Guys aren't just getting up there to drive the ball out of the ballpark. They're moving runners. They're doing some things they haven't consistently done, and we'll see if they can continue to do that. But their whole season is wrapped around October 1st and on. And so they've been kind of, going through almost like a tryout. They've run so many different guys in there. I told you Buddy Kennedy would get DFA'd, and he got DFA'd the other day. He had one more hit than you and I did. Okay? So they've moved a lot of guys in and out of the roster, DFA'd guys, sent guys down. Hell, they traded a couple of guys. They traded Dustin May, who, now's with Boston. he was going to be a free agent. So the whole thing with the Dodgers and why they didn't try to win 100 and 120 games like everybody predicted, because they had a lot of injuries and they want to preserve their guys for October 1st. Okay, it's that simple. Padres, we don't have the depth here in San Diego that the Dodgers have in their farm system. They bring guys up and they get the job done and, whatever. Okay? But at the end of the day, we get in the playoff, we can do some damage. We can still do damage. I'm not giving up on this team. But I've heard nothing but bitching, moaning, and complaining all week long about Luis Arraez. Got to take him out of the number 2 hole. Well, Arraez's numbers are dreadful in the month of August. I'll be the first one to admit that. 103 at bats. He's hitting 233, 257 on base percentage for a guy hitting second in the lineup. Not good. Does have 9 doubles, 7 RBIs, but has only scored 3 runs. Not good. Okay. Now, everybody, I heard a talk show host yesterday in San Diego, and I'm not going to mention names, so I'm not going to throw people under the bus. But some people, rather than running their gums, need to actually do some research. Okay, somebody said Tatis is really hot. Oh, really? He's really hot. What's he so hot about? I mean, Fernando in 95 at bat, yeah, he's got 9 doubles the month of August. That's great. He's got 1 homer that he hit the other day, and it looked like he was shocked when he hit it, quite frankly. And he has 11 RBIs. He's hitting 242 for the month of August. Is that hot? He scored 16 runs, does have a 374 on base percentage. But I don't think his performance in the month of August would lead you to believe he's hot. 242 is pedestrian. 9 doubles is good. 1 homer, disappointing. In fact, that was the first homer he's hit in like 124 at bats over a month. He went over a month without a home run. What happened to this guy? He had like 13 home runs right out of the gate. And since May? At the end of May, he's got 5 home runs. In June, July, and August? What has happened to him? And I don't want to hear that he's trying to work the count and this and that. This guy, he's not in the lineup to walk. This guy's in the lineup to do damage, even in the leadoff spot. So, not having a great month. Machado's been awful. I mean, I don't know how to describe Manny. Manny's been awful. He 98 at bats. He struck out 24 times and looked terrible at the plate. He's hitting 224 in the month of August. Everybody's on a rise. How about Manny hitting 224? Got 5 doubles, got 1 homer, and got 7 RBIs. He's been worse than Arraez, to be honest with you. 1 homer out of Manny Machado. Bogarts hadn't been all that great. 87 at bats, hitting 241, 289 on base percentage, 5 doubles, 3 homers, 12 RBIs. I mean, those are your 4 key guys. Now, I don't know if Arraez will be back next year, and I think there are a lot of people that don't want him to be back. Do you re-sign a Ryan O'Hearn? Gavin Sheets are going to bring him back next year. But, I mean, Tatis has got to do better. I'm sorry. Okay, right now, I thought when I saw Tatis play 5-6 years ago, man, this guy's going to be a Hall of Fame guy. He shouldn't even have made the All-Star team this year. Even though he got off to a good start, he has not had a great year. And you know what? You got to be held accountable. Manny's not having a good month. Is he having a good year? Yes, he's had a terrible month. If the Padres are going to get to where they want to go, Tatis and Machado got to pick up the pace. It's that simple. Okay, Arraez and Bogarts, they're nice, complementary players. Bogarts is a complementary player. Arraez is a complementary player. Your 2 stars, Tatis and Machado, they got to do better. Fernando's not had a great year. He's had a very, very average year. There are a lot of guys around baseball that are hitting what he's hitting. Guys that are hitting more home runs. I mean, hell, that center field, that young kid up there with the Dodgers, he's having a better year than Fernando. Pages, he's having a better year. Where the hell did he come from? I mean, Fernando's got to pick it up. I don't know what the deal is with him. Get up there and swing the damn bat like you've been taught. He kind of malingers around. Machado walks around like he, lost his best friend. You got to pick it up a little bit. You know, in the organization, they'll pat them on the butt and tell them how great they are. They got to pick it up. These guys are making big money, but I don't care about the money. I care about production. This is all about production more than anything else. And these guys have got to pick it up. Everybody else kisses these guys' ass around San Diego, to be honest with you. And there needs to be some accountability. There needs to be some accountability. And this is unacceptable. These guys are better than that. They got to get motivated. Mike Schultz shouldn't have to give them and Mike Schultz is an offender of this because he alibis when these guys don't play well. I mean, you're not going to throw your players under the bus, okay? You're not going to throw them under the bus. But if you have a bad game, you have a bad game. I watched Dave Roberts a lot in his post game. He doesn't get on his individual players, but he'll say, man, we got to do a better job. We're not doing this, this, and this. We didn't play well tonight. We got to take better at bats. You ever hear Mike Schultz say that? He alibis for these guys. You don't have to be their best friend when you're a manager. You're out to win games, not popularity contests. But Tatis and Machado got to play better. It's that simple. Manny's made 15 errors down at third base this year. 15 errors. How the hell is that possible with his ability? Unacceptable. I'm sorry. That is unacceptable. Him and Tatis have got to pick it up in the month of September. If not, Padres will be a wild card and we'll get all excited and then they'll get bounced out, in the first round. And then we'll go back to the drawing board, wait for the general managers meetings, waiting for the winter meetings, waiting for Peoria and rerun this group again. How many more times can the Padres trot out the same group of guys? Seriously, I mean, you're going to have Bogarts, you're going to have Machado, you're going to have Tatis, you'll bring out Jackson Merrill as a young player. But how many more times are we going to trot these guys out and go down the same road till we run into a brick wall and then we have to go back to the drawing board? These guys have got a golden opportunity. They've got a golden opportunity to go out there and play their ass off and get the job done. And these numbers, I'm sorry, these are unacceptable. You know, I could understand one, maybe two guys having a bad month, but you got three of your core players, guys that you've invested a lot of money in, that aren't doing squat when the time comes. This is the dog days. This is where the real players step up and they're counted. I don't expect a guy to go out and do what Kyle Schwarber did last night, go 4 for 6 with 4 homers and 9 RBIs. But I don't expect guys to go 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts, once or twice in a week. I mean, these on-base percentages are terrible. Machado's got an on-base percentage of 290. Bogart's 289. Arise, 257. Fernando's taking his walks, and he's on at 374, but he got 1 homer and 11 RBIs and hitting 242 in August. Enough said. We'll revisit this on Monday, see how they do in Minnesota. Minnesota, they don't have anything. I mean, this is a ball club. You can't sweep until you win the first game. But you win the first game, man, you got to be looking to sweep. You got to do some damage here. And we'll see what Arizona can do against the Dodgers this weekend, again, at Dodger Stadium. So it is what it is. Okay. We've got to get to our guest. And then we're going to get to live questions. Let's bring our guest on here, Mr. John Maffei, joining us right now. We're going to go with a picture. Look at that picture. How good a looking guy is that, huh? He's all happy and ready to roll. He's out and about today, so we're going to catch up with him right now. Mr. Maffei, welcome to the program. How are you?
Thanks, John. That's the best picture that I think I've ever taken.
Yeah, well, you look good. Yeah, I had to get on the Padres a little bit. The big boys need to start stepping it up here in the month of August.
You were kind of fired up. I don't disagree with you, but he's trotting out the same guys every day. But who else does he have?
Well, that's true. But we're going to trot out a lot of the same guys again next year. It seems like we just kind of rewind this season. It always kind of ends the same way, unfortunately.
Yes, yeah. It's frustrating, but it's a frustrating game.
Yeah, that's
you go 3 for 10. Yeah, 3 for 10, and you're a star.
That's exactly right. All right, you started out of the books last Friday night, first week of high school football, what they call week zero. You were 80%. You were 8 out of 10 last week, 8-2 record. How did you feel about your performance?
Well, had I not picked two upsets, I would have gone 10-0. But I picked Oceanside over Mount Miguel, and I picked San Marcos over I mean San Marcos over Mount Miguel, and uh, Oceanside over Granite Hills, and lost both of those. San Marcos tried for a 2-pointer with 44 seconds to go and didn't make, and lost by one. But but you got to take some chances sometime, and I thought those were two pretty good upset picks.
Last week we had some technical difficulties. We really couldn't get into the preseason top 10, and that has already kind of changed around, especially towards the bottom of the top 10. But, a nice job by David Dunn, Lincoln Hornets, going on the road over to Hawaii, getting a nice win and a good start for their season, coming off a fantastic season a year ago.
Yes, yeah, and Lincoln, Lincoln's loaded again. They get Long Beach Poly this week at home. First home game in a year. They had field renovations last year, so I would expect with a powerhouse like Long Beach Poly coming in and coming back home that the Hive's going to be buzzing tonight.
How about Cathedral Catholic? I know they got to the championship game last year, and they got kind of bulldozed by Lincoln, quite frankly. I thought that night they had a hard time blocking that front of the Lincoln Hornets. But Cathedral, it sounds like they've had a really good offseason. They got a Division I quarterback, and looks like they got some horses this year.
They do, and quite honestly, Cathedral on paper might be the best team, because they are loaded and they are really talented. But I'm glad. I think our people are voting Lincoln number one. It's the Muhammad Ali theory. You're the champ until somebody beats you, and you got to give Lincoln their due. They're right now they're number one, but it'll come down to Lincoln and Cathedral when they play each other in Western League play. But Cathedral will get tested. They've got De La Salle, they've got St. Francis of Mountain View. They've got both Lincoln and Cathedral went out and really are playing top-notch schedules, and they are to be applauded for that.
Mission Hills, Chris Hauser, the only coach Mission Hills has ever had. He's won championships, he's won league titles, and even when he doesn't win a league title or a CIF title, the bottom line, when you line up against the Grizzlies, you better be ready to play, because even in their down years, they're pretty good.
Yes, yeah, and they have a big time quarterback in Troy Yoon. Their quarterback is committed to Penn State. They don't have the running back like they had last year, but they are big and strong. They're well coached, offensively and defensively. Chris's staff. The thing about Chris, and it goes to what you were saying, his staff has been together pretty much for the last 10, 15 years. And you don't coach with a man for that long if he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's kept that staff together, and that's a big part of their success.
Kellen Cobb's out at Granite Hills. He's been there over a decade now. And number one, I like Kellen personally, but he has really put together a fantastic program out there. And I love going out to Old Valley Stadium. It's a lot of fun, but he really got another good football team this year.
He does. And, Valley Stadium's one of the classics, with that gigantic dirt parking lot. Don't wash your car before you go out to Granite Hills. But and I kicked myself last week. Oceanside is going to be really good, but why I picked Oceanside to beat Kellen Cobb's coach team is I'm checking myself on that one. I bet against Kellen Cobb's and I lost again. And I will not do that again.
Hey, give me your take. I mean, you were at that. I mean, it was a fantastic game. I mean, Mount Miguel hung on against San Marcos 28-27. Give me your take on both of those squads.
They're both very good. San Marcos, uh, not as talented as at the skill positions as they were last year, but they're big and tough up front. Tom Carroll, the San Marcos coach, told me before the game that they didn't match up on the outside, so he goes, "We got to run the ball," and they came out and ran it down Mount Miguel's throat and did a nice job on that, and that opened some stuff on the outside. Creek Makahili, their quarterback, who's really talented, had a bad night. Probably the worst night of his career. Threw three interceptions. One of them where he underthrew a deep ball that would have been six. Mount Miguel is really talented, and they had some injuries, and not that they're going to knock guys out for a long period of time, but some nicked up guys that didn't play last week that they'll get back now in week 2, 3, 4. So Mount Miguel is going to be tough. Those are two really good teams, and Mount Miguel, I hand it to them when they needed it. They got away from throwing the ball and slinging it around, and just ran it down San Marcos's throat to get the winning score. And that goes to coaching. That Verlaine Betafee, the coach of Mount Miguel, saw something, took advantage of it, and got the winning touchdown.
Hey, John, let me ask you this. I know Lincoln and Cathedral play in the same league, but in your opinion, where's the strongest league this year in San Diego?
Well, there are two of them. It's either the Western League or the Avo West, and both of them are right together. And I did a little thing preseason. I took the Max Preps rankings and for each team, added them up and divided by the number of teams, and the Western League, they were like a 57.43, and the Avo West was like a 57.36. So they're as even as they could possibly be. I think that strong at the top, one team at the bottom that kind of drags you down a little bit, but both leagues are really strong.
Yeah, because I look at the top 10, and there are a lot of teams from the Avo there that are in the top 10 right now.
Yes, yeah. Well, with Mission Hills and La Costa Canyon and Carlsbad and El Camino, yeah, week week 1 and 2 early on that maybe the advantage goes to the Avo West, and but don't count out the Western League.
Hey, let me ask you this, and I know you deal, you're like anybody. You got to follow the top teams because that's what people want to hear about. But is there a team out there? You've done all this research. You guys did, by the way. Congratulations to you and your staff on the previews. They're always great, but I was really looking forward to them. You guys hit a home run again this year. You had your top 50, then you had an extra 100. So hopefully you didn't get too many emails of Johnny as a dad calling saying, "Hey, you missed my kid. He should have been in the top 50 or top 100." And hey, you guys are giving a lot of love to a lot of high school players. If guys are that good, people are going to find out about them eventually, anyways. But you guys did a great job. But my question is there a team that isn't like in the top 10 and isn't predominantly a football power in San Diego that you think could, be heard of this year? It could be a kind of a sleeper and surprise team.
I think if people are looking for a kind of that sleeper team, Bishops might be that team. They have a quarterback, Cash Herrera, who's committed to Indiana. And when you talk to the coaches and the experts, and he's not a 5'10", 165 pound scat back kind of quarterback. He's a 6'3", solidly built, rifle armed quarterback. And Bishops could be the surprise team. They play Saturday night at La Jolla High, and I'm hoping I can get my work done on Saturday early and head over and just watch that game because I want to see him play live. But that might be a team to keep an eye on. And if you're looking to be entertained, that might be you might catch a Bishop's game.
They're playing La Jolla that night.
No, they're playing at La Jolla, but they are playing Christian High School, which
Okay.
and Christian has a very good team, so that should be a very good game.
Right now, who's the biggest name star in San Diego this year? I mean, we got these quarterbacks that are. You mentioned Herrera's going to Indiana, Hune going to Penn State, Palmer, the kid at Cathedral's going to Cal right now, and these guys will sign during the early signing period in December. But who do you think who's the biggest recruit this year?
Well, probably the biggest name recruit is Brandon Arrington, the cornerback at Mount Miguel, and he's world class might be too high, but he is an outstanding high school sprinter. Was hurt late in the season and didn't participate at the state meet, but he's committed to Texas A&M, and he's again he's not your 5'10" high school cornerback. He's 6'3", long and lanky. He didn't have much of a game against San Marcos. He plays offense and defense. Caught one pass for minus yardage. Was not a factor on defense. But to be honest with you, I didn't. I don't know if they did. That was because they just didn't throw to his side. And but he's probably the biggest name recruit we have, and he'll probably leave at the semester to go back to A&M to participate. He might even run track at A&M and then and do spring ball back there.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I know, 2 years ago he won the state. I think the 100, and I don't know if he won the 200 as well. And then last year, like you mentioned, he had an injury and wasn't able to compete. You're going to Torrey Pines tonight to see them host the San Pasqual Golden Eagles.
Yes, that should be a fun game. I'm anxious to see both teams. You saw Torrey last week and gave him good marks, and San Pasqual, their pass catch combination, Renteria and Rocha are I really want to see them play. See if they can pull an upset tonight, and they have really good hot dogs at Torrey Pines.
Yeah, I wish I could take the game in, and I got to go to a wedding. My niece is getting married at 4:30, so I'm going to have to sit this one out. But I'll be on the phone with you and get the full scouting report after the ball game. And John, as always, thank you so much. And I'll tell you, that picture's damn good looking.
I'm gonna frame that one.
Be well, have fun, and enjoy the hot dog tonight.
Great, thanks, John. Thank you.
There you go, John Maffei, our weekly high school football preview. I'll tell you what, no matter where I go, what I do, people always want to talk to me about what I did for 25 years on Friday night. Actually, it was 24 years. I did it for 25, but I started in 1990 with my high school scoreboard show. We did it on Saturday morning on old 690. Then we went to Friday night in 1991. I was on 11 to 1. 11 to 1. Giving out scores from Dorsey High School, Crenshaw, Mater Dei, Etowanda. I was giving out scores from all over Southern California because we were on a blowtorch of a signal. And I did that until I think 2012, and then we moved over to 1090 and did it forever. So a total of 25 years I did a high school scoreboard show. And man, I had some great guys. Tony Gonzalez and mom and dad and brother drove down from Huntington Beach after a game. Ricky Williams to come in. The great players out of Monte Vista when Ed Carberry was Will Goodlow, Michael Wiley. All kinds of stars came into the studio. It was really amazing. And but no matter where I go, everybody goes, "Oh man, miss the show." And I haven't done it in a long time. I love doing it. You know what? It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of great kids, and it really got my radio career off the ground. It kind of really what put me on the map. And that's why today, even on our podcast, we love doing the high school stuff and getting out in the community. So good stuff, and thanks for John Maffei. Busy guy, man. He'll be working to midnight tonight, and I appreciate him coming on maybe even 1 o'clock. I mean, this guy, he's a tireless worker for high school preps, no question about it. Okay, it's time once again to get out to Coach's Crew. I want to get as many questions in today as we possibly can. I got on the Padres a little bit, man. Machado and Tatis got to pick it up. Okay, there's no excuse. These guys, this is what these guys are getting paid for, is to produce in the clutch. Let's go. All right, live questions. Here we go. Big Sam Sanford. Good morning, Coach. I'm worried about the team's ability to beat good teams on the road. It's looking more and more likely that we'll have to go on the road in the playoffs. Could spell trouble. Sam, I agree with you. I mean, they haven't fared well against good teams. I mean, at home they've been okay, but on the road they haven't been very good. I don't know what they do on the road. Everybody's a little bit different. Some guys get to the ballpark early. Some guys come on the second bus rather than the first bus. Some guys may play on their phones and play games late at night into the early mornings because they're bored or whatever. Got to get your sleep. Got to get your sleep. I thought it was interesting. Dave Roberts a week ago told Ohtani, "Hey, don't worry about getting to the ballpark." Remember he got hit in the thigh in Colorado. He got hit in the thigh, and he wasn't scheduled to play the next day. They were actually going to give him a day off, which I don't think Ohtani likes. But hey, you need that, especially now that he's a two-way player. And Dave Roberts, they were on the road at Coors Field. He goes, "Hey, sleep in. Don't worry about it." And somebody said, "Well, Ohtani loved that because he monitors how much he sleeps." I mean, the thing about Ohtani, everything he does is calculated. I mean, how much he sleeps, when he gets to the ballpark, what time he does this, what time he does that. And I know there are people say, well, maybe he gambling too. Everybody thinks he was a part of that. Guy like Ohtani, he's in it. He's got like blinders on. He's got only he wants to be the best player. They tell me when he wakes up in the morning, his only goal that day is to be the best player in the world on that day. He's a unique brand, man. He's a unique character. But man, he is something else, that guy. But yeah, I mean, when you're on the road, uh, everybody's different. I know when I'm on the road, I stay up late. I stay up late watching TV. I'll watch Sports Center and I'll watch the damn replay. Yeah, especially when I was doing games and I'm in a hotel room, I'm always prepared. I'm always doing something. And I know that I'm going to be able to get through the next day because I'm going to have natural adrenaline, get all fired up. It was like yesterday. I was all fired up for the Aztec game. I mean, I can't. My wife said, "Hey, you know what? You're just walking around the house here waiting to get ready. Why don't you get ready and just go?" I'm glad I did because the traffic was pretty bad. But Sam, I think that's a very valid concern. Very valid concern. They haven't been good on the road. Haven't been good on the road at all. All right, what else we got here? No 2RR. Happy Friday, Coach. Since Merrill has been out of the lineup a lot due to injuries with Laureano and O'Hearn playing well, should Merrill bat seventh? Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I got a problem taking out Sheets right now. And this is not against Jackson. Jackson's a big part of this franchise going forward for many years. I love him. I think he's a hell of a player. But right now, it's not his year. And like I said, we're almost in September. We're going to be in September on Monday. And it's go time. And we don't have time to ramp guys up. We got to go with the hot hand. And, it'll be interesting. I'm sure, Merrill's help, they're going to stick him back in there. But I don't know if that's the best thing to do right now. Give him a little time to, give him a few opportunities. But, man, I hate taking Sheets out. And I don't know what that's going to do with O'Hearn. They got a nice little thing going right now. Those guys, O'Hearn and Sheets have been a big part of what the Padres have been able to get done in April. Big part of it. And even more so when I read off what Arise, Bogarts, Machado, and Tatis haven't done in the month of August. So there you have it on that. But I have no problem dropping him down. And again, bone bruise, man. Bone bruise, ankles can be really tricky. I mean, bad sprained, high ankle sprains, really bad. But man, bone bruises, it just takes time. Casey King, happy Friday, Coach. What do you think of my Dodgers postseason rotation? I'd go with Yamamoto, Kershaw, Snell, Glass now. What do I think about that order? As for your Padres, I'd go with Cease as your number 3 in the postseason. Again, I would go with Pivetta, King if healthy, and then I got to pick between Cease and Darvish. Quite honestly, I think I might go, and people are going to go, "You're crazy." Right now, just because of his overall stuff, I kind of like Dylan Cease. I don't want to poo-poo Darvish, but both those guys, it's kind of a mixed bag. You don't know what you're getting. But again, you don't have to go 5 or 6 innings. You got to go 4. Give me 4. Give me 12 outs, Dylan. Give me 12 outs, and I'll turn it over to the bullpen. That's the way I would look. Now, as far as how about Kershaw? The other night, he had nothing, and he went 5 innings, struck out 6, gave up 2 hits, and 1 run. It was a home run. He had nothing the other night, yet he's getting guys out. I mean, I watched the game, and Kershaw even admitted after the game he had nothing. He goes, I didn't have anything right from the get-go. Yet he's 9-2 on the year. I mean, that's pitching. That's pitching. Now, I don't know. Come playoff time, we know about his struggles in the postseason. I would definitely go with Yamamoto. I'd probably have to go with Snell and Glass. I don't, because he's Clayton Kershaw, he'll probably get a start, but he'd probably be my 4th guy. Because the other guys, Yamamoto, Snell, and Glass, now when they're on, they have overpowering stuff. Clayton Kershaw's got to be very fine right now. And in regular season, you can get away with that. Postseason, it's tough. And I think the Dodgers are going to be better because their bullpen's getting healthy. And I saw Vesia, though, went on the IL, and I heard him interview the kid from Alpine, Steel Canyon High School, 15-day IL, but he made it sound like it's more of a precautionary thing than anything else. A little bit of an oblique, but not bad. So, but I think Yamamoto, Snell, and Glass now, those 3 guys, and Kershaw, if you had a 2-1 series lead, then you run them out there, probably. That's what I would do, Casey. Thank you very much. Okay, what else we got? Big Steve Tellez. Hi, Coach. I agree with you. Cease, when his mechanics are right, he's very good. When he gets frustrated, his mechanics go haywire. He becomes a thrower, not a pitcher. Absolutely. 100%. And the harder he throws, the worse it gets. His command goes bye-bye, and when he gets the ball over the plate, it's straight, and it ends up becoming a souvenir in left or right field. It's that simple. Steve, you got that pegged 100%, my friend. 100% he becomes a thrower. You know, he's like a relief pitcher. A lot of these guys come out of the bullpen. I call them rock throwers. They have no mechanics. They have no finesse. They just come out and try to throw 100+ miles an hour until their arm blows out, and then the team gets another dude coming in. But see, when he's on and really pitching and really focused and keeps his mechanics along with his mind in the right place, he got good stuff. And you know what? He may sign a big free agent deal, and 5 years from now, the guys in his market may be saying the same thing you and I are saying right now. He's got great stuff, but he becomes a thrower rather than a pitcher when things are going haywire. That's simple. But Steve, you hit it right on the head, my friend. Okay, what do we got? Yuli, hey, Coach, do you think relying on the bullpen this much will affect it in the playoffs? They might be all out of gas. Well, I'll tell you this. I know Jason Adam has had a great year, a career year, and he pitched well the other day. But from one day to the next, his stuff is not the same from what I've seen. I'm not looking at numbers, okay? I'm looking at what his ball's doing, and they're getting better swings off him. His stuff has not really been as crisp since the All-Star break. And, you know, maybe they can give him a little more time off. Maybe he can get it back. He's still getting guys out, don't get me wrong. But his stuff isn't as good. Estrada's had his struggles. Mason Miller's pitching well. Suarez, we know he can be a little up and down from time to time, but he's in a good spell right now. Morahone's been fantastic. Adrian's been incredible, really pretty much the entire year. Wandy Peralta has been very good a high percentage of the time. Every pitcher is going to have a blip on the radar. David Morgan had one. And David Morgan's had an incredible year. Who ever thought David Morgan? Nobody even knew who he was. I mean, they may have thought he was the son of Morgan and Morgan, the guy that runs all the commercials on TV. David Morgan came out of Double A. It wasn't like they brought him up from El Paso. This guy was pitching in Double A. Think about that. And he had the rough outing last week, but the guy's had an incredible year. And I think he's gained a lot more trust by what he's done. I think the pitching coach and the manager have a lot more trust in him. I do. I love when he comes in. I think he's a good pitcher. And then Yuki Matsui, to be honest with you, he's the mop-up guy. He of the 13 guys, he's the number 13. But you got to have a mop-up guy on every team because he can give you multiple innings. So there you have it. But I am concerned because these appearances do add up. And it's not just coming in and pitching. It's all the warm-up. It's all the warm-up. And, we'll see where it goes. But, they're hanging in there. But there is a concern. I would imagine if Mike Schilt, Ruben Niebla, Ben Fritz, the bullpen coach, if they were completely honest, there has to be a little bit of concern there. Pacho. Hey, Coach, I just visited Yankee Stadium and Citi Field this past week. How many ballparks have you been? My goal is to visit each stadium. I haven't been to that many. I've been to Yankee Stadium. I've driven by Citi Field. I've been to Coors. I've been to Chase Field, Anaheim, of course, Dodger Stadium, Petco Park, the old Oakland Alameda Coliseum I was at many, many years ago. Not really that many ballparks. I mean, I love Wrigley. I'd love to get to Fenway. I've never been to Fenway. Yankee Stadium was okay. It wasn't, I don't know, Yankee Stadium wasn't like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. It was unbelievable because of the monuments, and they gave us a nice tour. I saw the ball that they have. They have a ball. Every New York Yankee has a ball in this one room that is signed, an autographed ball. And I saw Jerry Coleman's ball, so that was kind of cool. I got a really nice tour of Yankee Stadium. I didn't see a game there, but I got a nice tour because a young man from San Diego, Damon Oppenheimer, who's been the scouting director over for 20 years, went to Hoover High School, Southwestern, and played for Rod Dato at SC. I know Damon really well, and he set up a tour for me and my wife and my youngest daughter and her husband, and we got a really grand tour of Yankee Stadium once upon a time. I really like Coors Field. I really enjoy Coors Field. To me, I had a great time at Wrigley Field. Never slept. Those people in Chicago never sleep. I mean, it was crazy. But I had a great time. Padres were playing. I remember a long time ago, cold. It was like 40 degrees, but it was a lot of fun. They didn't play well. I got beat 2 games in a row. It was only a brief 2-game series, but nonetheless, Wrigley Field is cool. And like I said, I'd love to get to Fenway Park. I haven't made that yet, but it is what it is. But no, I wish you the best. I saw Citi Field. I didn't get to go in, but I went right by it. But it looked nice. But again, haven't been to that one. Thank you very much. Okay, what else we got? We got anything else? Okay, AL stand. We got to give you the standing. We haven't given you the standings in a while. We're getting down to the brass tacks here. Toronto, only a 3.5-game lead over Boston. That Boston team's good. Yankees are hanging in there at 74-60. They've had a subpar year. They're 4 games back. In the AL Central, 8.5. The Tigers have pulled away. And look at that, the Guardians. They're back to 500. They were playing such good baseball. They've dropped 7 of 10. And the Kansas City Royals have jumped up over them, but the Royals aren't going anywhere this year. In the American League West, look at this. Right down to the wire. You got Houston and Seattle. Seattle 2 games back. Seattle, dangerous ball club. Astros have battled a lot of injuries this year, but they're hanging in there for the division title. Poor Angels. Look at the Angels. Angels played very, very well, but they're running out of gas. They're in last place. The Athletics have surpassed them. Well, they're technically at the same 11.5 back, but the Athletics got them by 1 percentage point. And I wonder what Ron Washington wants to come back and manage next year, but do the Angels want him to come back after quadruple bypass surgery? That will be interesting how they're going to work that out. Maybe they'll give him he wants to manage, but maybe they'll say, hey, you know what? We don't want to do that, insurance reasons. We're glad you're healthy. We want you to be a part of our organization and let him work with all the infielders in the entire farm system. Teach those guys how to field. Man, you know what? I know Perry Hill, and I'm not even sure where Perry Hill's coaching now. He's a really dynamic infield instructor, but Ron Washington. I have my grandson and granddaughter doing drills that Ron Washington has his players play. And I was amazed we were doing it the other day, and my 10-year-old granddaughter, she knew how to do the drill because I had sent her dad a tape on it, and she executed it to perfection, and so did my 7-year-old grandson. But Ron Washington, great infield instructor. Okay, let's take a look at the American League wild card. This is going to be really good. You got Boston's play. I really like Boston. I really enjoy watching those guys play. Right now, they're sitting in good shape, a 2.5 game lead in the wild card. Yankees right there, 2 game lead. You got Seattle, 3 game lead over Kansas City. Boch's ball club just squeaked over the 500 mark. They'd get close, then they'd go back. How about scoring 20 runs the other day against the Angels? How about that? Angels last 2 innings. They had 2 position players, both first basemen pitch. But Kansas City, right there on the cusp. They're 3 games back. If Seattle blows that, I'll be surprised. I like that ball club. I think that's a pretty good makeup there. Okay, let's jump over to the National League. Oh, the New York Mets. We'll have to take a look at the Metropolitans. Right now, they're 5 games back. I wonder what Stephen Cohen's thinking about his ball club right now. They're 72 and 62, but 5 games back. So it looks like Philadelphia in pretty good shape. Milwaukee, a 6.5 game lead over the Cubbies. And then out west, you got the Padres trailing the Dodgers by 2 games. Giants are playing a little bit better. They're trying to crawl back to the 500 mark. They won again yesterday. But hey, the bottom line, we're looking at one thing. We're looking at Dodgers, Padres, 28 games to go. Let's get it done, boys. Let's see if we can overtake the Dodgers. And again, not only a 2 game lead, Dodgers hold that tiebreaker. Remember that. Okay, let's take a look at the National League wild card. Cubbies right now, 4 games. Padres, 3 games. You got the Mets, who got a 4 game lead over Cincinnati. They're sitting in pretty good shape. And then you got the Giants and Diamondbacks. Again, Diamondbacks going to be at Dodger Stadium for 3 games starting tonight. And interesting matchup. Snell tonight going for the Dodgers against Zach Gallen. So Padres are sitting in great shape. They've had a good year, but they got to pick it up a little bit. They got to smell the finish line, a little more sense of urgency. Okay, I got to mention the Aztecs, and then we're going to get to our coach's mailbag. Last night, okay, I don't know. They said there were 20,000 people. I don't know about that. I tend to doubt it, but that's okay. Maybe people bought tickets or season ticket holder. They didn't show up. They watched it on TV. But anyways, I get out there yesterday. I left the house at about 3:15. I figured, I'm going to hit a little traffic. It rained, and I know when it rains, well, it messed my car up, and I got to go to a wedding, so I have to go get my car washed after the show today. Last thing I really needed to do, going to a wedding tonight, and I've already been down to KUSI, but hey, that's life. You got to deal with some adversity, right? But anyways, I'm walking around, and Kelly goes, "Hey, just get ready. You're walking around just waiting to go. Get ready and go." So I left about 3:15. I got in the parking lot at 4:35. Took it forever to get there. And they got all kinds of construction going on down there where I normally park. I went in. I couldn't make a left, so they set me up, and a girl was nice enough to see my pass, go, "Hey, don't worry about going over there. Just park over here." So then I walked over to Ben Fletcher and J.R. Tolliver, who it was great to see JR, record-setting receiver at San Diego State out of Mira Mesa High School, 128 catches that one year. Kasim Osgood had 110. So they asked me if I'd come out and be on the radio. So I went out to the tailgate lot, or whatever they call that is, and they got their tent, and the fans were coming by, waving and saying hello. So I did that. Then I had to go and walk around the other part of the stadium to get my press pass. So I get the press pass. People were nice. They had everything ready and all this and that. So I get up there and I'm seeing all the referees and different people I know. And hey, good to see you. Glad you're here. And had a nice dinner. Sat with Lee Hamilton. Visited with him and Jim Russell and John Schaefer and the whole radio guys from 760. and had a great time. Me and Hacksaw sat next to one another, had a great time. Jonathan Oliveri, who's my producer, director, and the brains of the operation here, he was out there writing for the East Village Times, grinding. He didn't get out of there until like 11:30 after talking to Sean Lewis. But anyways, get to the game. I was hoping the Aztecs would play better than they did a year ago in their opener, where they were trailing 6-3 against Texas A&M Commerce or whoever the hell they were playing. They're playing Stony Brook, a team that had a good year last year. They're a level down, but a very good, well-coached football team. And San Diego State came out much more organized. Defensively, they looked pretty good. Defensive line looked okay. Linebackers are nice. Secondary, I think, very strong. Offensively, Jaden Dagenal, the quarterback, came from Michigan. Got knocked out of the game early for a couple of plays. Looked like he hurt his left shoulder, came back in. He was fine. Got to work a little bit on the passing game, getting familiar with the receivers. But, he was okay. I mean, it wasn't going, oh my God, this guy's going to be the quarterback this year and maybe next year. He was fine. Athletic guy, good looking athlete. Lucky Sutton, the kid from Cathedral Catholic, who's a redshirt junior, hadn't really played a whole lot, but has hung in there and done everything you need to do to keep getting better. He didn't say, you know what, screw these guys, they're not playing me, I'm going to go somewhere else. He dealt with some adversity and has gotten better, and he's a good football player. He didn't have the breakaway Marshall Faulk speed or Larry Ned or Donnell Pumphrey, but he's a good, solid football player. Fundamentally a sound, good football player. Good inside runner, always got those shoulders leaning, getting those extra yards. Had 22 carries, 100 yards last night, 2 touchdowns. Looked great. Offensive line, they got some guys coming back that look good. Defensive line that I was concerned about, they looked good last night. But again, they're bigger, stronger, faster, and quicker than the guys they played last night. And they did fine. They did exactly what you needed to do. Go out there and physically bully your opponent. And they did a great job. They held Stony Brook to 95 total yards. Aztecs had over 460 total yards. They pitched a shutout. First shutout since 2019 when they shut out Weber State. And people will say, Coach, you're so into baseball. Why do you even care about Aztec football? You could wait for Aztec basketball or UCSD basketball. And by the way, I got my schedule. I got 15 games coming up for college basketball on ESPN Plus. I'm excited about that, doing the UCSD Tritons again, a complete rebuild. But you know what? Here's the deal. It doesn't matter whether it's USD, like tomorrow afternoon, USD opens their season. And when I get their score, and if they lost, I'm going to be a little irritated because I got news for you. Any team, I don't care if it's, obviously soccer's I was a general manager of for a number of years, but any team that has the name San Diego across it, it could be a golfer, could be a tennis player. I want them to be successful. And I want the San Diego State football program to be successful. And they've really had some down years. Rocky Long was a blessing. Rocky Long is one of the finest men I've ever covered in San Diego. And, I would never put out like a top 10 or the top 10 coaches I covered or top worst coaches I covered. I wouldn't do that. But I can tell you this, Rocky Long is one of the finest men, put coaching aside, one of the finest men I've ever been associated with in all the years I've covered sports in San Diego. And I still to this day will not believe that he didn't want to be a head coach again. Now, he hasn't taken another head coaching job, and he's in his 70s now. But the way he left San Diego State, I'm not buying. And then they decided, hey, we're going to hire Brady Hoke again. After Brady Hoke had walked out and gone to Michigan, Brady Hoke retired on the job. He was going to be the football coach at San Diego State until they tapped him on the shoulder and said, Brady, enough. And now they bring in Sean Lewis. Sean Lewis coming from another part of the country. I know he coached there with Dion, but, he's a Midwest guy. Played at Wisconsin, tight end, a coach back in that part of the country. And it took a while for him to get his sea legs. And he's got a lot of things to still navigate. I don't know where this program is going. I hope last night was a good start. We're going to have a better idea next week. And again, they're still it's like a little embryo right now. They're just trying to build this thing. And they're going up to Washington State next week. That's going to be very, very difficult. The Palouse on a Saturday night, the stadium's right in the middle of the school. I mean, the kids are going to be partying and then walk over from their dorm rooms. It'll be crazy. It's going to be on the CW, by the way, at 7:15. And we're going to have a better idea. I mean, their non-conference schedule is not easy. They got to go on the road to Washington State. Then they have a bye week, and then they play Cal on the 20th at Snapdragon. And then they got to go to Eastern Illinois. That won't be easy. They're going to be tough. So it'll be a very interesting year, but I was encouraged. I think they got some athletes. I think they got a little bit of depth, but it's a work in progress. But last night, the three San Diego running backs looked good. I mean, Lucky Sutton, 100 yards. Christian Washington looked good last night. Got some good outside speed. He's pretty good explosive back. I remember him at Helix very well. He was always running for long touchdowns. And Byron Cardwell, who went to Oregon, then went to Cal, and now finishing up his career at San Diego State. Jordan Napier had 3 catches, very dynamic receiver. I think the receivers are going to be okay. I think they just got to get on the same page with Dagenal. And Bert Emanuel Jr., very talented quarterback as well. More of a runner than a passer, but I'm sure they're going to find a way to utilize his skill set. So all in all, I was very encouraged. I'll be very, very anxious to see when they step up in class next week. But I want to see this Aztec football program take off. I really do. And somebody said to me last night, do you think it'll ever get going? And I go, I don't know. It's not really necessarily all up to the coach. It's up to the community. We need a little more support for this football program. Everybody talks about basketball. Everybody loves a winner. I know that. But we got to give this man and his staff a little support. And I think the best way you can do it is go out to a game. The one thing they've done, which is good, the prices of the tickets were so ridiculous the first year. And now they've realized reality. You know what? You can afford to come to a game, folks. You really can. Look at the ticket price. They're a lot more affordable. And whether you come to the Cal game or, later in the year, Boise State, Colorado State, come to a game. Bring your kids and have fun and create some family memories. I want to see this football program get built. And, I'm hoping that they have a good year. I'm hoping USD has a good year. And again, any team that has San Diego across their chest, I live and die with them. I want to be successful. It doesn't matter what league it is. I want to win the league. I want to be a champion. And it could be, high school. We got high school teams playing volleyball tournaments in Texas this week. Let's win. Let's bring home a trophy to San Diego. That's the way I look at it. Okay, I think it is time right now to get to Coach's Mailbag. Let's see what we got here. Montezuma fan, hoping the division comes down to the wire. We can somehow take it from LA. Well, you're going to have to, you got to figure just winning series right now may not be enough. It may not be, you may need to, sweep a series. I mean, sweep Minnesota. Come home, get 2 out of 3 against Baltimore. Maybe, who knows? I mean, Baltimore can swing the bat a little bit. The other thing, I don't like the Padres playing against the American League. They have not fared well against the American League this year at all. They got a losing record. But you're going to have to start sweeping somebody because Dodgers are playing good. And the other thing, Dodgers got like a 6-man starting rotation now. And they can go with the 6-man rotation. And again, on Monday, they can add another bullpen guy. So we're looking right now, we're going to have to, somewhere along the line, we're going to have to sweep. And remember, we've got to make up 3 games, not 2. We got to make up 3. It's doable with 28 games to go, but man, you can't fall behind. You can't, drop 2 out of 3 and have the Dodgers, win 2 out of 3 and go up by another game. That'd make it 4, and let alone they sweep and you drop 2 out of 3 in Minnesota, you're taking yourself out of it pretty quickly. But we'll see what happens. Can only play 1 game at a time. Okay, what else we got here? We got a couple more. Meesa Man, excited to hear the update on King. What kind of boost will that give our pitching when he is back? Well, it'll move somebody out. I'm anxious to see Nestor Cortez pitch today. I like the way he pitches. I think he had that one real rocky start against the Giants, but he's pitched very well overall. I kind of like the way he's pitching. But it just bumps everybody down. I mean, like I said earlier today, if we're going to the playoffs, it'd be Pivetta, King if he's back to being Michael King, and then I'd probably go with Cease over Darvish at this point in time. Misa Man, thank you very much. All right, user bummed about Merrill this season, but want him to come back healthy. What has been more frustrating, Merrill's injuries, Tatis' lack of production? Wow, that's a hell of a question. I mean, injuries are going to happen. Injuries are going to happen. Fernando stayed healthy as far as we know. I don't think he's playing with any big injury. I think Tatis' lack of production. Where's the power gone? I mean, he's hitting in the 260s. I can see him hit about 275, 280 with some bombs. I think next year they're going to have to seriously consider moving him out of that leadoff spot. Maybe drop him down to, and they probably would never put him in the 5th spot. But, man, force him to swing the bat and be a little more aggressive. He's just content right now. He's becoming a punch and Judy hitter. I mean, it's unbelievable. Lack of power this guy's got right now. I mean, I don't know what the deal is. He's got to use his lower half a little more. I know that. But, I'm always disappointed when guys are hurt because they don't want to be hurt. They want to play. And Merrill loves to play. Again, he could be activated as early as tonight. We'll have to wait and see on that. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, that's going to do it. All right, Jonathan Oliveri, I appreciate you getting out of bed after a long night out at Snapdragon Stadium. I thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you for sending those questions in. Again, we'll always take your comments. Again, we're on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Please subscribe, please like, turn on the notifications. And again, you can follow me on different platforms on Facebook at John Kentera and on X at Coach Kentera 44. Also like to thank John Maffei from the San Diego Union-Tribune, our weekly high school football preview covering high school sports. And we'll do that week in and week out. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Reminder, if you're a college football fan, tomorrow is Lee Corso's final broadcast. And I'm going to get up bright and early. Looking forward to the Texas-Ohio State game. I'm pulling for Julian Sayin and the Buckeyes tomorrow. The young man out of Carlsbad High School going against Arch Manning and Steve Sarkisian, a guy that I like, Sark. He could have been an Aztec, but the Aztecs signed a guy named Cody Lee Smith out of Mount Sac. The next day, Sarkisian, who wanted to come to San Diego State, signed with BYU. Think about that. And Cody Lee Smith played exactly 0 downs for San Diego State. He was a big JC All-American quarterback way back when. Signed with the Aztecs. Sarkisian was ticked off, signed with BYU. Sark had a couple of good years there coming out of junior college up there at El Camino, where he played with a former great Aztec, John Featherstone, God rest his soul. But he wanted to be an Aztec, but they took Cody Lee Smith and didn't work out. Never came to San Diego State, ended up, I think, at Kansas State. Career never really amounted to much, but little trivia question for you there. But again, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll look forward to visiting with you on Monday morning at 9 a.m. Have a great sports weekend, and go Padres. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.